What up, fools? This is the Joe Pedrosa podcast, episode 26. Today, I'm here with Faraz. I don't know your last name. What is your last name?
Siddiqui.
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 Siddiqui?
Yeah, with
Siddiqui.
the two D's. Yeah.
Where's the D's?
Siddiqui.
Oh, Siddiqui.
Siddiqui. Close enough. I didn't want to get into this shit. I should just...
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have started off with the last name. But, so I wanted to start off this podcast. I think it's just an easy way to get... Woo! It's one of my equipment. I think it's an easy way to, get to know someone. At the end of your life, when you have your tombstone, it says Faraz Siddiqui.
Yeah.
And then a title. What would the title be? What would your lasting legacy be?
I would say, like something I'm leaving behind, right?
Yeah. Or
I would probably
like
say,
a way to kind of summarize your life.
it's going to sound like fucking corny as shit, and this might change over the years. But for now, I would say if I were to die tomorrow, face your dark side would be it.
Face your dark side.
Yeah,
okay, so what does
side.
facing your dark side mean to you? Like at this point of your life?
Yeah, bro, that's all I've been doing for the past like 3 or 4 months. So facing your dark side basically comes down to, like, me personally, it's if you read Robert Greene's Human Nature. I don't know if you ever read that.
Robert Greene, he's right? 48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power, Mastery, whatever else. Human Nature is his, like, I think the most recent book. He talks about seeing your dark side. In every human being, there's a light side and there's a dark side. Yeah. Facing your dark side gets you, like, free you from your basically everything, like insecurities. I think the best way to put it, the dark side is basically this. If you see a full moon, there's a dark side to the full moon, right? Mm-hmm. On the other side of the moon is the dark side that you can't see. Yeah. Our mind is kind of the same. It's like you have your conscious mind and then your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is kind of like where your dark side lives. Okay. Where all your insecurities are. Yeah. All your past childhood traumas, everything that you don't want to face about yourself, like guilt over something, anger issue, resentment, grudges, it's all there. And then we think why we're so fucked up is because your dark side is, like, fully loaded. You have never, like, seen that side of you and never, like, released it. So how would you access this dark side? I assume, like, from what you're saying, like, therapy would be a good way to kind of open that up, but I'm gonna say, bro, therapy's if you find it, I laugh at therapy because I think it's complete horseshit. Yeah. But not all of it. I think there's a lot of, like, therapeutic methods that work really well. And therapists that are really amazing. Yeah. But most therapists and most therapeutic shit is just like, we talk it out, and then even the fucking therapist doesn't know jack shit. Doesn't know jack shit. Yeah. He's in this theoretical fucking world that he read some textbook about in, like, school.
So what I learned is, like, most of the things you're seeking in therapy, like, I know you're speaking to a professional, but most of the things you're looking for you can find within. So I guess that is part of your dark side. Like, if you really look within, but, some people are not capable or don't want to do that. Or, like, cognitive behavioral therapy, I think that's the therapy that you're talking about that's actually helpful.
That's actually work, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's actually actions. Like, when you think like this, then do this. I've never taken CBT. I've taken, like, actual therapy, and a couple months after. Yeah, well, the thing was, I was fucked up over a shorty, So I was like, yo, I gotta see therapy right now, bro. Let's see, what can I possibly do to make me feel better, bro?
We're in the same boat, bro.
Did you take therapy to help?
No.
You face your dark side.
I honestly did take one, because it was it free? I think it was free. I took one single session just out of curiosity. Yeah. And Again, I didn't, like, really shop around or anything. I just took one thing, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly the horseshit I thought it would be. So I guess finding the right method, like the one you did, and then also finding the right therapists who know what they're talking about, who have done the work themselves as well, is really, the right thing to do.
So facing your dark side, what started you on this journey of facing your dark side?
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago it started without
10 years?
Yeah. 10 years ago, it all started, literally 2012, unconsciously. But really, like, But the first 5 years was me trying to just like inflate my own ego to overcome the shit I hated about myself.
Okay.
And then the last 5 years, 2017 until now, has been like actually accepting and releasing and like really looking at my entire life and like cleaning up my life. And building a relationship with myself and all that. Because my relationship with myself is fucking terrible.
What was it? What was it like 5 years or 10 years ago? Your relationship with yourself.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think, bro. Yeah. Damn. That's a good question.
How old were you? 15.
I was 15, 16.
Okay.
10 years ago. My relationship with myself was terrible, man. Like I avoided mirrors for a long time.
Really?
Without knowing it. As a child, as a teenager, I didn't like myself. Like I would see, it's different. It's completely different now. But seeing a mirror, bro, it really made me uncomfortable. And I would have long hair to hide from the world and shit.
Really?
It's all unconscious. I'm not conscious of this until like looking back.
Yeah, and what was the reason why? Was it like a self-image thing, like you didn't like how you looked, or was it something beyond that?
It's definitely beyond that, because it wasn't like how I looked so much. I hated how I looked, but it wasn't because how I looked. It was something deeper, and then you hating how you look is a symptom of something deeper. So something deeper was just like, I'm flawed to begin with. Like I'm a piece of shit to begin with.
Yeah.
That was kind of my belief about myself.
So did you think you were like fundamentally flawed from the beginning, or was it like a sequence of actions you did before you were 16 that made you think of yourself like that?
I think it started when I was a lot younger. So I would say probably when I was like 4 or 5 or 6, somewhere there. Because I really liked myself when I was really, really young. But as I got older, because of my conditioning from my like parents and school and all this shit, I started to think that I'm actually like not a, I don't know, good person or a worthy human being. That's kind of like where it started from, and a lot of it had to do with my parents and my upbringing and school and everything.
Well, because I know like Asian parents, they tend to hold like this huge expectation of you.
Same,
yeah. Is it still like that now that you're 26? Like, are they telling you?
They're giving up on me.
Oh, yeah?
They're giving up. They're still the same. They're still like, when are you going to like do the things you were supposed to do?
Oh,
What are you doing?
Do they expect you to get married? Like arranged marriage? Like, I work with people who, are brown, and they have arranged marriages because like their parents have expectations, but some of them it's because they actually want to get married. Is that the same with, like, I don't know if you're part of that culture as well, or if you're different?
No, same thing, man.
Oh, same thing? Did they try to set you up?
My parents, they're actually cool with that. They're not like trying to get me to arrange me or anything. They're like, if you find a girl that fits this criteria, so be it, My mom's pretty chill too. She's like, don't get married young. Like, do your thing.
Do your thing.
My brother got married at my age though.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Arranged?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So do you, like, coming into a Western world, do you find that concept foreign still of arranged marriages, or is it still pretty normal to you?
I mean, bro, the arranged marriage shit is kind of like different now, because back in the, like, how my parents got married was like, you're marrying him. And that was that. And like they met like after they got married. Like they talked for the first time after they got married.
Really? They didn't even fucking see each other, bro?
Yeah, exactly. It's very different now. So like arranged marriage is kind of like if you set me up with a friend of yours.
Yeah.
And if you get along,
but then you're not allowed to see them, bro. I don't know if they're not.
No, that changed. That changed.
Yeah.
Like arranged marriage is basically like, hey, I have this friend.
Yeah.
And or whatever, this person's daughter or that, and like we get to know each other. Oh, we like each other. Okay, cool. You guys can get married. It's very different now. It's like you guys do date for like a couple of years before like tying the knot.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was just like
just you two link, bro.
Just so you know.
What if you don't love each other? Like, where does love play a role? Like, I feel like that's so like technical, no emotion and any of that.
I know, it's so scary, man. Like my mom, she was like, I didn't want to get married to your dad, bro.
So
like, I don't want that.
You know.
But they made it. They're like 30 years married, so
yeah.
Good for them.
But like, see, I feel like one thing I think about. I think if you were to divide life, it's work and love. You know, like you're either working or you're with friends, you're with family, you're with like your relationship. If the love's like 50% of your life, you're with someone you're not happy with, aren't you just like, fuck, man? Fuck, dude, you know? Like, that's what I'm thinking, bro.
You know what? I kind of disagree with that one.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Like, 50-50, that's cool. It's work and then it's family, friends, hobbies, whatever the fuck, right? And then I think we overplay that whole love thing because I don't believe in love so much.
You don't believe in love?
Not really.
Okay, was there ever a point where you did believe in love?
I did, yes.
Okay, so what was that transition? Why did it change?
The truth is, man, like, what matters more in a relationship is the thing that's outside of the emotion. So what we do is, I like this person. I have this emotional thing towards this person.
Yes.
They must be the right one. And how often is that true? Not that often. We fall for wrong people all the time. I fall for the wrong person.
Yeah.
I'm sure people fall for me, and I'm probably was not the right person for them either. And it's like that emotional thing is literally just like rapport or just like closeness. Like if I put two people who were never meant to be together on an island and they go through the roughest shit in the world for the next 2 years, they're gonna fall in love. Because like loving each other, liking each other is like going through shit together, adversity, rapport, all that. So that emotional thing is very like you can create it towards most people. So that shouldn't be the factor of like liking someone. You can eventually like anybody, I believe. The right thing to do to find the right person for you in a relationship is looking at factors outside of that. So what are their friends like? What are their family like? What are their upbringing like? Their values, their morals, their dark side, right? Their character. What do they do in adversity? If we were to go on a trip together and it was supposed to be amazing and it turned out to be complete shit, what is your reaction? If you look at those things and then pick that person and then you form the bond with them, the love and the rapport and everything, that will probably be a good relationship. But we start with the fucking emotion and then we look at the other shit later. We're like, oh my god, this person has no value, but it's like there's no character here, but I'm fucked now because I'm 6 months in and I love this person and now I'm emotionally bonded.
Okay, so say if you got everything, you got like you got all like, say you're making a cake, you got all the right ingredients, you know, good friends, good morals, how do they deal with adversity? And then you choose. Like, I agree with you. You choose to fall in love. You choose to have that emotion.
Yeah.
Is that not love? Or, like does love exist? Because you said you don't believe in love.
Okay, I would say this. It's love, but in that moment.
Okay, so you think it's just temporary. Like, you don't think there's everlasting love?
No. It's like, we love each other, and it's true right now.
Well, okay, how about like the 60-year relationships, the ones that die together? You don't think that? Is there love there? You know what I mean? Like,
no, there's definitely love there, and I think it's like eventually you guys gonna die.
Yeah,
so it's temporary. That way too.
Everything in this life is temporary.
I think it's like the way. I mean, people get married and then the person dies.
Yes.
And then they get remarried. Like people have the ability to move on.
Yeah, I guess. So your whole point is, so love does exist.
Yeah, I would say we can like redefine that. So
okay, but
in my head it was like love. You were fucking meant to be, and then after we die, we also are meant to be up in the heavens and shit.
Yeah.
I think it's just like this chemical thing where you guys get together, you like each other, love each other, whatever you want to call it, and then that can change tomorrow. So in that moment, it's true, but everlasting love.
The way we met each other was essentially I was being a model, and then I met this group of people that in Toronto they're like in this pickup artist dating situation, right? Yeah. That's all your friends, right? So
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
why would you put those labels? Yo?
You know those people. You know those people.
I do know those people. Yeah.
But though I think that mindset comes from that scene, like there's this whole thing going on right now about like Red Pill, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit. Do you watch those people?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're all like, oh, true love doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a woman's value is just like, you know, their body. You know, like their early 20s is their prime and shit. But I feel like that whole mindset, like it's a tough mindset. Like, you know, you don't know who's right. It's like the whole blue pill, red pill thing.
Yeah.
But I think that mindset that you're talking about right now, like love is temporary, it comes from kind of like the red pill section of the internet. You know what I mean? What do you think of that?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great point, because I do not agree with those people. I think like I don't agree with anybody who goes into extremes.
Okay.
There's like the naive, because that used to be me, right?
Yeah.
The whole fucking Disneyland movie.
Oh, okay.
No, blue pill.
Yeah.
Disneyland movies. You know,
like, I love you. Forever,
shit, and
know?
I wish that was true. That's the thing. I wish that was true, because I would love that, bro. I am a hopeless romantic guy. Like flowers and shit, chocolates.
Yeah.
Like, you're my baby girl.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm that person. I'm just like, this is just not the reality we live in. So I have to change my mindset to adapt to whatever is actually true. Anyways, so people who go to extremes, I don't agree with that. But this mindset just comes from my own personal experiences. And I'm just thinking, even like with my family, bro, like it's all conditional love. So if it's conditional love, is it really love?
Yeah.
Like, meet these requirements or fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, as much as like...
Which is fine, but it's not what I thought it was. It's just like...
Yeah.
Something different, yeah.
So your idea of love is changing overall. It's just because everything.
So when you said love, maybe you should have defined it. Like, what is love? In my head, is like, love is just unconditional. I love you no matter what, and all this. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Not true.
Okay, do you agree with like the red pill stuff?
Bro, I think it's like some elements are true. Some elements are like agreeable.
Mm-hmm.
But these people go way too extreme. Like, I heard something a couple months ago. It was, there's this like saying, she was never mine, but
it was just my turn
to have her.
Yeah, bro.
And then they hated that. Like, the red pill people, they're like, what do you mean? She's mine forever. Once I have her, she's mine. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, you're just narcissistic and you fucked in the head. You're just overcompensating for your dark side.
Okay, so going back to your dark side, what has been like the darkest thing you found about yourself? Let's go deep, you know.
Darkest thing I found about myself.
Yeah, over this 10-year journey.
I don't know if there is one, man. There was. How about, what was the hardest thing to overcome?
Okay, yeah. What was the hardest thing?
I think the hardest thing to overcome, which I'm still working on, has been like this. This sense of being incomplete. Like, I need someone else to complete me.
Yeah.
And like really, really deep desire for like connection. Love.
It all stems down.
It's like and that ties into what we were talking about earlier. Is like me redefining the definition of love in this world has been a huge factor in my own healing, which is like, you're not going to find what you're looking for in another person or in this world. You have to find that within yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from lack of attention and everything that I went through earlier in my childhood. So that's where it comes from. So I have to go back to that and like fix shit.
How would you... Okay, like, I don't know if you're into like that spiritual stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Are you? Okay. So how would you go back to your inner child and fix that though? Because it's a foreign concept to me, because it's like, I physically cannot go back, you know what I mean? Like, I got to think about it, but like, what would you
can go back. Of course you can.
How would you do that?
You can go back, because if you're still suffering from the symptoms that came from your childhood, that means the imprint is there, that you can go trace it back in your mind. Right?
Oh, so you would trace it back in your mind?
Oh, I mean, you would trace it back with your body, not with your mind.
How would you
do that? Let me just define what mind and body means. Mind means thought, right?
Yeah.
Just like in this context. Mind is like thought, thinking, all this shit.
Yeah.
And then your emotions live in your body. So if you were to bring up something from the past, you're going to feel it in your body. If you think about something that triggers you, that trigger lives in your body.
Yeah.
So you want to... There's a book called Body Keeps the Count. It's a great book. Also, Waking the Tiger. It's also about trauma healing. Peter Levine is the author. And Letting Go, David R. Hawkins. Those are the books kind of define like this process. So the way you would go back is this. You want to trace it from the present trigger as far as you can. Okay. All the way back.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way it works is this. You ever been triggered?
Yes.
Right?
On a daily basis.
Let's just say a common scenario everybody probably been through is you break up.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a trigger fest. But let's just say things kind of calm down a couple of months later. But there's still like little triggers here and there.
Yeah, you hear like a song, you know.
A song.
Like, fuck, man. You're up at 3 a.m., bro.
Yo, it hits you. Because we often think 3 months later we're fine, but we're not. We never dealt with it. We just suppressed it, and it just shoots back.
And then you like rethink the scenario in your head.
Oh yeah,
like,
you're stuck.
Fuck, how could I change this, or what could I have done different, or to just even like relive the scenario in your head. You're like, fuck, man, this felt like so good, but now I don't have it. It's gone. You know.
Yeah, that's
so
the worst.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro. So it's seeing the present trigger, like seeing what's closest to it.
Yep.
And then
you want to trigger yourself.
You want to trigger yourself. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how you get over it. That's how you get. If you think about your breakfast right now, are you triggered?
Like recalling the breakfast. Yeah, I can recall it.
You can recall it. Do you feel anything in your body? No. Like, oh my god, eggs. Fuck.
I was like, oh my burnt fucking eggs. I don't know how to cook.
My eggs. Oh, I had eggs. Oh my god. No, you don't feel anything, right?
Yeah.
So you getting over and healing something is like you thinking about your ex or whatever. You seeing them with someone else and you feel nothing. It's because you moved past it. But most people can't do that because they have unresolved issues and they get triggered. So you want to trigger yourself in order to release it, and then there's nothing to be triggered from because you have released all that energy out.
Is this like a one-time trigger, or is this multiple triggers to try and get over it?
I mean, if you want to take the context of breakup hits you in every, and I just went through one. So it's like breakup hits you in every angle. There's anger, there's fear, there's guilt, there's cravings, like, oh, I want her back, man. Like that desire. It hits you in every angle. And you want to trigger yourself in every angle and release all of that. So when
That's interesting.
That's what I've been doing, man. Sitting down with myself and just releasing all that anger. Like, she did this wrong. She did that wrong. Forgive. And then guilt is like, understanding that you're a human, you'll make a mistake too. And then release that. So far and so forth. Every emotion has its different kind of antidotes, and you want to release and then use that mindset to like overcome that.
Okay, so I'm actually super like curious about this.
So the whole time you're pretending, but now you're like, fuck, wait, let me think about this.
I wanna know how would you deal with every single emotion? So like, let's go through every emotion.
Let's do it.
So so what is there 5 emotions like in fucking Pixar?
There's
how many emotions are there?
Okay. Let's say there's 8 there's 8 emotional states.
Okay.
Each emotional state has you can feel the same emotion and react differently depending on the emotional state you're in. An emotional state is like your permanent day-to-day life. Like, where do you live?
Yeah.
How do you see the world? Your thoughts about yourself, like the theme of those thoughts. So, for example, there's a person who's just always angry. They live in an anger state. They're always bitter about shit. There's always complaining about people. There's always angry at people. And their theme is like, me versus the world, motherfuckers, revenge. They're always in that. There's another person who is like always just down and like depressed because they're a victim. Oh, whatever. The world did this to me. That's their emotional state. They're a victim. They're anger. Then there's another person who's just hyper and happy all the time doing a bunch of shit. They're just in that fun state. You know what I mean? those are the emotional state that people live in, though they all feel the range of emotions within that state, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So there's 8 emotional states. There's apathy, which is basically like hopeless, numb, depressed, just it takes all your energy to even get out of bed. I'm sure we've all been there before, but we're not there completely all the time. It's temporary for us. But some people live in that. The one after that is grief, is victimhood. After that is fear, then anger. And these 4 states are like me versus the world. Past that is courage. This is where you're like me with the world. It's not me versus the world anymore. It's like we're all in this together. That's when you shift it from competitive to collaboration.
Okay.
Then is courage, desire, purpose, and then love.
Okay, so wait, is this emotion? Are these okay? In my mind, the emotional states were like disgust, like fear, happiness.
Those are emotions.
Okay, so the emotional states, they're basically, is it like a hierarchy and you're trying to, at your best, trying to hit the top?
Again, this is a model that you want to like kind of, it's a model to kind of aim in life.
For, not
to like just construct an entire world that fits in this model. It's been very helpful to me. The aim is your aim is to always, like when I went through this breakup, I was in apathy for a bit, but I knew what to do to move into grief.
Okay, so how did you do that? So let's go through every single one. So apathy, what did you do?
Apathy, I'm feeling numb, right? I'm feeling numb and I'm feeling very depressed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not feeling anything, though I have zero energy to do anything. I was just like, I couldn't get out of bed even.
Yeah.
Right? So these emotions are all there, but you don't feel anything, but they're all there, and all your energy is going to suppressing them. All I had to do was just sit and wait.
It's just a waiting game.
It just sit and wait, it's going to come up. But when it comes up, what people do is just suppress it even more. So they go deeper into apathy. You want to be able to welcome that. No matter how intense the trigger is, walk into it.
Okay.
And I walked into it, my emotional state lifted from like apathy to like fear. Now I was like in fear where I'm like anxious all the time, scared all the time. You just have to keep releasing that and moving up and up and up. Mm-hmm. And then you want to get to anger. That's where you kind of make that breakthrough get out.
Before you get to anger, you were in fear. What did you do in your fear mode to get to anger?
Fear, you just face it.
Face it, okay.
Yeah, fear, you feel anxious. Okay, why? What we do is we're like, I feel fear. Why? Because of this thing. And it's like this symptom. You want to go deeper and deeper. I think my deep fear was, this girl left me. One, I will never be accepted in society. Like, it's so ridiculous because it goes really deep and it has nothing to do with what's going on up here. You feel trigger of like fear from a breakup, but then when you go deeper and deeper, it's always like some completely different thing that's like you're subconsciously attached to this thing that your subconscious comes up with like weird meanings. So for me, it's like I'll never be accepted because for me to be with this girl meant acceptance to society. Now I'm like lonely. I'm by myself. I'm not accepted. I'm not good enough. So a lot of that fear was like she's left and I'm just scared that I'll never be accepted in society again. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, but that's what happens when you go deeper and deeper. So I had to accept that's okay. I had to go and accept like if I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And it's
so it's accepting, just accepting what it is. Like it is what it is, essentially. Yeah. Okay, and then after that, after fear, you get into anger.
Just to be more practical, how you accept it is like you sit down, you close your eyes.
Okay.
And you breathe. You do the breathing techniques, and as you accept this truth, like, oh, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. Okay. You will feel a lot of fear come up, and you just have to keep breathing through it. Okay,
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, and then after fear, you accept it. You get into anger. That's the next one.
Not necessarily. So you could like that's the next step. Usually, people go from fear to anger.
Yeah.
But you could go fear to courage. You can go fear. You can just shoot up. If there's no anger there.
So it doesn't have to be like...
Yeah, you can jump around.
You can jump around. Can you jump like down? No.
Yeah.
You can go back down.
Yeah.
You can go from courage back to numbness.
Bro, dude, before this break, I was like completely in my purpose, like just like doing the things I want to do, have all the energy in the world, waking up early in the morning. This breakup happens, boom, apathy. It's
yeah.
Like, oh, that's
but I thought that event is what triggers this climb. So is that really like? Would you count that as going down because that's the event? That's the traumatic event that started it. Right? I guess you can go... No, I mean like when you're healing. Like say you had that breakup and then you're encouraged. Can you go back to numbness?
Yeah.
You can, okay.
Yeah. Like this model and this like energy work and like these healing techniques, they're there to help because from today until I die, there's going to be horrific events that's going to happen in my life that's going to just completely destroy me. Having these tools is knowing where I am and how I can move up. Okay. So then, like, let's just go without skipping the steps. Okay. After fear, anger. So what's the trigger? Just think about it. You're like, fuck. Anger, man. Anger is great. Anger is awesome. I think you can use it for a lot of good things, but staying in that anger state all the time is not good. Yeah. You have to find forgiveness. You have to find a way to forgive this person or yourself. Is there a way to get into it? Just think about it. Well, let's say you're angry all of a sudden. You want to start by saying why I'm angry, and the answers are always there. We all often say I don't know. No, it's just resistance. Like you know why you're angry. That's why you're fucking angry. If you didn't know why you were angry, you wouldn't be angry. Yeah. So you're angry. Let's just say you're angry at a person who did something wrong to you. Mm-hmm. The only way to get out of that is to release that anger and then find forgiveness and forgive them. Okay. And yourself too. You can hold grudges towards yourself and resentment towards yourself. Okay. You have to find forgiveness for yourself as well. Is there a practical way to do that, like the breathing technique, or? Yeah, it always comes down to that breathing meditation. Is it? Like, okay. Sit down, you breathe into the triggers, and then you release it. You can't physically do the anger, like punch a punching bag and all? You can. Releasing can come down to anything. Okay. So a lot of times with anger, I release it at the gym. Yeah. And it's the best thing ever. Oh, bro, that's why I took up MMA, bro. I do jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai now. I'm like, bro, there's fucking anger in my body and then you get it out. Yeah. Well, the thing about anger is, man, you have to find forgiveness. Otherwise, you release that anger, you're fucking angry tomorrow. I know people who never be able to, like, they release all this anger throughout doing whatever they do, but they never completely get out of it because they never forgive. That anger builds up again. They release it, builds up again. What do you think of this before we move on to the next one? Yeah. Okay. Say being a good fighter, right? If that's your goal, or being like ripped at the gym. Motivation. You use anger as your motivation. And then you don't forgive yourself, you don't forgive the person, and then you just like become the best fighter in the world, you become like the best bodybuilder because of this anger. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, let's say you become the best bodybuilder or the best fighter. Right? You become that. Yeah. Why are you doing that? What was that? Why are you doing that? Okay, say if you're the fighter, you start competing in UFC, get money, you like build up your whole brand of yourself as a fighter. Yep. And then why are you doing that? Yeah, I mean it's based on anger. You're there, now what? You're set for life, never have to work again. Bro, fucking. And why are you doing that? Autonomy. Autonomy at the end of the day. You get to do what you want. I don't know. And why are you doing what you want to do? Isn't that what everyone wants to do, what they want to do? What does that like mean to you if you do whatever you want to do? You don't have like control, like then nobody tells you what to do and then what does that accomplish? That accomplishes autonomy. Like it's now you're living your life based on no rules. Which is why you want to do that in the first place. Like you're there. Okay, now what? Then the answer is because I want to be fucking happy. Okay, yes, yeah. Isn't that the answer? That's the answer for everybody. Isn't that what we're all striving for at the end of the day? Yeah, exactly, right? You want to be happy, you want to be content, you want to be whatever, peaceful. Like at the end of this, like I feel this amazing, like, whatever, right? Yeah, like we're all looking for a sense of meaning and sense of happiness. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, okay, so you use all this anger, which you can do, bro. You can actually do that. You can use anger and you can find ways to fuck up your own life and use more and more anger to get to that place. Yeah. Right? But then you're still fucking angry. You know what I mean? You'll never be at that peaceful thing because your emotional state is always like, well, if I want to get more, it's probably more. If I want to get more, I have to make myself more miserable to find fuel, right? So you'll never get where you're trying to go, okay? So that's one. And then two, if something happens and you get super angry, yes, use it, but don't rely on it. You want to move up, and as you move up, the motivation changes from this like dark, desperate energy to like inspiration.
Okay.
And that's the ultimate motivator. It's like you're inspired to do something. Like, did it take you motivation to do all this today?
No, like I just do it.
Why? Because you're inspired.
Yeah.
You still took the action to make this happen, but it wasn't like, fuck, my girlfriend broke up with me.
You know what I mean? Shorty, bro.
my dad never liked me. Fucking Mike. I need more motivation. Nah, you just took it was effortless. We were laughing and fucking around. We had so many issues here. We were laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like that is inspiration. You want to take actions from inspiration, and then that will, one, give you more energy to do more. And then two, it's everlasting. You can just keep going. It's like this effortless action to just do
like
shit.
that.
It's like
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So after we move from
long answer.
After we move from anger, the next step is courage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and that's switching from you versus the world, and it's transforming you to
with the world.
Yeah. Okay, so how would we get into that after anger?
After anger, you would feel that.
Oh, you just feel it.
Yeah, as you release all this and you move up through releasing and taking a lot of action as well. Mm-hmm. Like for anger, you have to take action to forgive people. Maybe that means calling them or whatever, and forgiving yourself. So you're taking a lot of action as you're releasing, and then once you release all this, you will automatically move to courage, and courage is like, okay, I have all this energy. You will automatically, this happened to me. You will automatically start like having inspirational thoughts, like, what do I want to do now? Because it's no longer me coping with life anymore because I've released all this. Now I have all this energy and like time and I feel great. What do I want to do with my life? And that's where like the ideas start kicking in.
So in operating in a sense of a creative space, do you think you can operate from you versus the world? Because like, where do ideas come from? If you're saying ideas come from the courage thing, or most of it comes from it, can we operate life from that, from the dark side? So
like courage is where like you kind of have the right mindset to start taking action towards that. Like all these stages, again, it's just a model.
Yeah.
Life is the same. You feel all the emotions in apathy, but they're not at the surface. You feel all the same emotions in desire or purpose or courage, whatever. You have the same ideas. You have the same. It's all the same, except your emotional state is different. So how you think and how you act and how you feel is different, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So let's just say you have the same idea to start a podcast and you're in grief, you're a victim all the time. Good luck trying to fucking start a podcast with that kind of mindset, right? It's like, it's never going to work because I don't have the equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, poor me. But at courage, you're like, oh, podcast, I'll be sick. Action.
Yeah. Okay.
All that shit just skipped.
Mm-hmm. So the most actionable step from courage, do you think, is like taking action on the ideas that are surfacing to your mind?
Yeah.
Would that be it?
A lot of like courage is kind of like you're bouncing around ideas. This is like the person that's always like dabbling in shit.
Okay.
There's like, oh, they're doing podcasts, yeah. They're also doing this, they're also doing that, and I do this.
I was like a boxer, a model, a stand-up. I was like a tour guide, bro.
I think you probably fit on courage. It's like that person dabbles, so like that person's out of that coping thing. They have all these ideas, but they dabble, they never commit to one thing.
Okay. And then we move on from courage.
Yeah.
The fifth one.
To desire.
Sixth one.
This is desire. Like your courage, you start taking some action, you start dabbling around. You're like, oh, it's possible. I can do shit. I'm no longer a victim or I'm not in anger or like whatever. I can actually accomplish things. This is where desire kicks in. They're like, this is where you want it all. Like, it's just like this needy lack, desperation vibe, and you want it all.
Okay.
This is like pretty much Mike Tyson's life.
Okay.
It's like you just want it all.
But from wanting it all, is it focusing on one thing? Or is it still kind of like your scatterbrain? You're kind of like doing this.
Yeah, you're doing
but
this.
it's like you winner takes it all, essentially.
You might actually commit to things, but you want it all. But it's a run from a lack, like a lack within you, right? So you're lacking. It's not like I want it all from a place of like, I'm complete, I'm good, I don't need anything, but I want it all, and let's see if I can get it. And it's like this inspirational, like, it's a, how do I say it? It's very light. You want certain things, but you're not like desperate for it. You're not like, you know. Have you ever seen like a thirsty needy guy at a club?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I want it.
Weren't you at the club last week? Didn't I see you there?
I was not at the club last week.
I was just fucking with you. I'm in Calgary, bro.
I was like, shit. My cover's blown.
Yeah, right.
What's that mean?
But yeah, so...
I legit thought you were at the club last week. Okay.
No.
Someone in desire basically just like has a lot of lack and they're trying to complete themselves by having it all. But now they actually believe like they can have it by like, you know, having some wins in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, courage, is like, I'm doing everything, but the sixth one is like, no, I want it. Like, I want it really badly right now.
But it's like, I want it, but desire is more like the focus of it is like, I'm trying to complete this void within myself.
Okay.
That's really the focus. Because once you realized that, I can actually get stuff. Like, I can do it. I can make money. I can do this. I can do that. A lot of like friends I used to hang out with, like once they realize they can get a girl, now they want every girl in the world. They want the model. They want the suit. Like they're just like, it's like never ending game. Once a person figures out like, oh, they can make money, they just want it all money. Like, oh, I just want all the money in the world. And it's like this never ending lack that they're trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. That's really the focus of that state.
Okay.
Right?
And a practical way to get out of that is to just keep going as hard as you can.
No, you're the more you commit to that strategy, the deeper you go into it.
Okay.
The right thing to do here, basically, the mindset is the answers are out there.
Okay.
You want to turn that around and be like, the answers are in here. Whatever I'm trying to find is not out there. It's in here. Whatever I'm trying to complete myself with, it's not out there. It's in here. Because every person, and if you're like have like a deep desire pocket, if there's someone in the world who has made it and they're still not happy, and there's like countless examples out there, why the fuck do you think it'll work for you?
Yeah.
Money, all this shit. It's great tools, but it's not gonna complete you as a person.
Okay. So do you think those people, like the celebrities who like, you know, kill themselves because they have everything, but, you know, they're still unhappy, are they in the desire section?
Maybe, but you could say they have really, really rich desire pockets.
Okay.
Like deep pockets of it.
Yeah.
They not might be in the state, but...
Okay. So after desire, we move on to the seventh one.
Yeah, after desire, you turn the mindset around. It's within myself.
Yeah.
You release all that lack, whatever you're trying to like complete yourself with. You move to purpose, which is basically you find your win. Like, what is that one thing that you want? What is that life goal? And usually the purpose comes down to it's not about you anymore, because you're complete. You're happy. Now it becomes about the world. What can I do to make this world a better place? What is my mission? What is my win here? But also, it fulfills you as well.
Interesting. And, okay. And then you the practical way to combat that is to work on your win.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the eighth one, I would think that would be the last one.
Yeah.
But what's the eighth one then?
You're half right. The eighth is love.
Okay.
And love is basically unconditionally accepting the external world and the internal world. So love is kind of like an internal state you want to aim for, but not external. External, like purpose, and that's it. You're on your purpose. You're doing the things you need to do externally to fulfill your purpose, right? But internally, you want to be in love, where you're completely accept yourself, you're accepting the world. It's like if somebody comes in and shoots you in the head, I'm in love, I'll be like, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. I'll run out first.
Yeah. So, how would you? I think that would be the hardest thing for people. How do you love yourself? Like, what's that? Like, how do you combat that?
So, I should say this. I'm not a guru. I'm not in love or anything. These are the things I've applied in myself in my life and have seen insane amount of results. I toured with a guy who taught all this, and touring and working with him for a year has taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where I'm just like aiming for the same things as everybody else. So anyways, I've seen self-love is basically it's always there if you stop hating yourself. So if you just remove self-hate, then it's just self-love. So when I said facing your dark side, that's what it means. It's like all the shit you fucking hate about yourself. You did physically, mentally, something you did back in the day, you have regret, you have guilt over something. Maybe you did someone wrong, whatever. You make a list and you accept that one by one. And by accepting the things, eventually that list will just be like, there's nothing there anymore. And then you'll love yourself. You accept it yourself.
So would it kind of be like accepting yourself? When you accept yourself, is it like the breathing technique? Like where you chill, you're like, hey, I'm not this, or like I no longer hate this. I accept it. Like would be the best, like the breathing technique be the best?
It's one of the most effective one I've tried.
Yeah.
I mean, you can release by doing psychedelics.
Yeah.
That's what the psychedelic world is about, right? You can go to the gym, right? You can do that. You can find extreme physical activities. You can do a bit of everything. But what I've seen is like for anger, I do the gym, but like the breathing thing is kind of my main thing throughout.
Yeah.
And how it works is this. Let's just say that I'll give you an example, like self-love, right? So let's say I made a list of things I hate about myself. And let's just say I hate the way I look. That's the most common one. Or I hate my nose or some shit, right? And it's like, you basically want to sit down, close your eyes, do a few breathing cycles.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have meditated, but once you meditate, you kind of get out of your head, you go into your body. Mm-hmm. It's a very normal practice in meditation. So you want to go in your body, you want to turn your mind off, right? And then you think about having your nose. And things will come up. You can ask yourself, can I accept the way my nose looks? Can I be okay with this nose? Is it okay the way I look? Can I accept myself for that? And you will see like emotions will come up. I don't have a problem with my nose, so I don't feel anything. But people who have a problem with their nose and they hide it and they don't like it, they will start feeling shit. And it'll be like, no, I don't want to accept this nose.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter because you have the fucking nose. Whether you like it or not, you have it. And then that whatever emotion it is for them will come up. And you want to release that by literally visualizing it in your body. Because you will feel it and you can locate emotions. You want to breathe into those emotions and let it out. But it's not getting rid of. It's accepting.
It's accepting, yeah.
So it's not, if you feel anger and you're like, I gotta release this because I gotta get rid of it. Nah, dude, whatever you resist persists. So you want to accept it by letting it take over and then breathing and letting it out.
Interesting.
That's your intentions.
That's cool. I really like this whole thing. This is so interesting. Wait, who was this person that you were following?
Julian himself.
Julian himself?
Yeah. Is
it one of the people in the group?
No. Julian is a guy from. It's like a public speaker. It's like a self-help coach.
Were you following him like tours?
I was working for him for a year, and I went to tour with him in Europe.
Oh, really?
So I've seen a lot of like workshops and like kind of like very intimate experiences. It's been crazy.
Yeah. When did you do that?
I was in Europe in May.
Oh, this was recent, like this past like year?
Yeah, last May. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so interesting. How did you get into contact with him?
I think he posted something in a group one time.
Okay.
And I just went and I said, yeah, I'm in. And then they had like these interviews. And
yeah. What were you doing for him?
Basically, I was managing his his Facebook groups.
Oh, okay.
And then also like when I was on tour, we would just do everything. Talk to the people that were there. We're kind of like assistant coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the whole 8 that you've listed out, where do you think you are on that level at this moment of your life?
That's a good question, man. I think I'm at I'm like between anger and courage. I'm like switching between anger and courage. With like really, really deep pockets of desire and grief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about that whole thing that you've mentioned. Like I was like recalling times in my head. I'm like, when was I feeling like this? Or like, where am I at right now? I think the thing that I'm at right now is I'm at the desire. Like I know maybe purpose and desire, because like I've accepted all the things that everything that's happened in my life, but I'm like, I really need this thing. And my thing right now is like creating this podcast, creating these videos. But you could say that's the purpose thing, because my whole thing, I wanted to ask you this question at the end, which we have like about 8 minutes left. But essentially my whole thing with this podcast, with the videos that I make, I'm searching for meaning. Like what is true? Like what is real will prosper? What is the ultimate truth that I can find? But it's switching between that, like, this is my purpose, this is what fulfills me and what I can give to the world, because we're all trying to look for a sense of purpose, you know? As corny as it is, you know? But it's also like, I need this so fucking badly, like, this is the only thing I want. And I think it does come from, like, a lack of something. Lack of fucking, you know, I think when it comes from me, just thinking about everything you said, it's like, the whole thing with autonomy, like, I don't want to do anything else for other people besides me. Like, I'm the only person I care about. I just want to do my shit. And that whole thing, like, if you put it in a practical sense, it's capitalism. Like, I work for somebody, I'm doing something for someone. So if I could figure out how to do it for myself, then I think the desire will go away. I don't know. Am I on the right track, you think?
If you want it really badly, which, like, that sounds like a perfect thing at someone who has a deep desire would say, like lack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why do you want it so badly?
It's for the autonomy. It's to do what I want. Yeah.
And it's like coming from like this lack and desperation. You want to be able to go, and it's fine. You can like use that for motivation right now, but eventually you have to let go of that lack. So it'll be completely just like out of fulfillment. Yeah.
Okay. So, closing off the podcast in about 5-6 minutes, I wanted to ask you, this is the theme of the podcast, the theme of my channel. So what I'm searching for is meaning, truth. Meaning for me is like found through truth, beauty, and love. But truth is like something that's so vague, and it could be like different from person to person. So I wanted to ask you, what is your meaning that you found at this stage of your life? Like, whether it be your own personal meaning or like an overall meaning of the world. Like if you look up at the stars and like, what is the meaning of life, you know? What is yours? I know? If you don't know, what is yours personal one? You know?
I think my personal one, the thing about meanings, man, they change from chapter to chapter. Like every chapter of my life, it's like a different meaning. My entire life doesn't really have a complete meaning. Just like whatever chapter I'm in, there's a new meaning towards that. And right now, for me, this new chapter has been like, the transition from last chapter to this chapter has been pretty rough. So for me, the meaning right now is this life is basically, I guess there's 2 now. This life is made out of chapters, and it's me accepting like the next chapter, and then really accepting like there's gonna be the chapter after that, and then after that. Life is never permanent. It's just chapters and chapters and chapters. And I've always found myself like getting really attached to the last one and like resisting the next one. So for me, it's like meaning of life is made out of chapters. Except as soon as the next one starts, just fucking accept it. It's not in your control. You can't resist it. The more you try to resist a new chapter in life, the more it's gonna backlash and just slap the shit out of you. Just accept it and just go with flow.
What is this chapter of your life?
Damn, that's a good question. This next chapter, honestly, and I say this every year, but I sort of believe this one. The next year and a year and a half is gonna be the most transformational, like, life chapters for me in like the next year or so.
Yeah.
Externally as well as internally.
Okay, so what externally do you want to work on first?
So externally, I'm working on. I think this is the longest I've ever been disciplined to eat the right meals and working out.
Yeah. What's your diet?
I eat 200 grams of egg whites in the morning, 3 slices of white bread, 150 grams of Greek yogurt, and then I have a protein shake and what do you call that? Cliff Bar during the workout. And then I just make I'm working on this new recipe, making a really big burger with fries. So about 2,200 calories with like 170 grams of protein.
Is this cutting or is this bulking?
I don't know.
Or is it maintaining? Oh, you don't know.
It's kind of doing both at the same time.
Fair.
I'm going with it.
Okay, so yeah, health, working out.
Health, working out. My job is going great, but there's something else I'm working on related to that. That's going to really financially boost me.
What do you want to do? If you want to say it on camera.
Can't say that one.
Okay, all right.
And then the next thing will be, like I said, doing a lot of networking and creating connections and just with the best people I can possibly make it with. I'm talking about like people up there.
What niches are we talking about when you say like these high network people?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Okay.
It doesn't matter. If you take the guy, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Right? What is he? He's basically a YouTuber.
Yeah.
If you want to put it that way. But he can meet pretty much anyone he wants. He can meet Donald Trump.
I mean, he was like fighting Floyd Mayweather, you know?
He's fighting Floyd Mayweather. He can meet Donald Trump. He's hanging out with Andrew Tate. And then he also probably knows fucking Elon Musk if he wants to get an own podcast, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't matter the niche. It's like, as long as you have those
high network people.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And what did you want to do internally?
And internally, like as I went through this breakup, and also just as I'm moving through life, there's a lot of resistance and everything coming up. Like I told you, anger, grief. It's all coming up. Yeah. So I'm dealing with that.
Okay. So you're moving on to the next emotional state, essentially. Yeah. Okay. Cool. The last thing that I wanted to ask you. So with the theme of facing your dark side. For someone who's facing their dark side at the moment, whoever's watching, what is one piece of advice would you give them?
For someone who's facing their dark side, someone who's facing themselves, something that really upsets them and they hate about themselves, whatever it is, don't be scared of it. You're gonna be fine. You can get it on the other side. Nothing is permanent. No matter how intense it might be, that experience, you can get on the other side. It's finite. Just keep breathing through it.
Face your dark side, folks. Thanks for watching today's podcast, the Joe Pedrosa podcast. Stay on Average Fools.